I don't eat veal and I don't do bacon. I'm feeling the feel, I ain't stealing, I'm taking. I got a non-dairy creamer in my jeans. I'm happy to see you if you know.
Hey freaks, welcome to Vegan Freak Radio, podcasting without pants from home. Here's Bob and Jenna.
Hey vegan freaks and welcome. It's the 3rd of October. It's our 11th Big Fat Vegan Freak podcast, and we're coming at you with more vegan weirdness and all kinds of good funky vegan stuff.
Yep, we're here today and we've got our usual set of shout outs, and then we have an announcement of another talk we're going to be giving next month.
Am I supposed to go now?
Yeah.
Oh, I am? Oh, okay. So yeah, we've got our shout outs and then an announcement of a talk. Then we're going to talk about some of our reviews. We initially had some hesitation about doing this little segment, but we thought it'd be kind of interesting to talk about.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about a potential new feature. One of our listeners wrote us a little song.
Yeah, man, and it is solid fucking gold. It rocks.
It kicks ass.
Yeah.
And then we're going to hint about something we're going to talk about next week, and then we're going to play some clips from some talk by Erik Marcus.
Absolutely. Erik gave a really good talk at, holy hell, what's it called? Poplar Spring Animal Sanctuary, correct? Correct. And Ryan over at VegBlog was good enough to make an MP3 of that, stick it up on the web, and I downloaded it, talked to Erik, talked to Ryan about it, and they're cool if we excerpt a couple little bits. So I'm going to excerpt a couple little bits and play them out for you, because it completely, some of the stuff he says is really hardcore, on the money, and excellent.
Excellent.
So let's get started.
All right. Oh, don't forget about the second half of our show.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The second half of our show, we interview some cool-ass vegans.
Yeah, man, cool-ass vegans. This is something we're thinking about doing more and more of, and we'll talk about this a little later. But on the second half of the show, how could I forget? Stupid. On the second half of the show, we have Lee and Ken. Lee and Ken from Cosmo's Vegan Shop.
Yeah, we did a phone interview with them, and so we'll play that for you in the second half of our show.
We totally Skyped them.
We did.
So yeah, we're going to play that for the second half of the show, and they have some funny observations and some interesting things to talk about, and we're talking with other folks, man. Issa, if you're listening, come on, man, give us a fucking date. You know, what are you waiting for? Give us a damn date, because we're supposed to talk to Issa about her new upcoming cookbook, which is looking quite kick-ass. Yes,
it'll come out in a little over a month.
So Issa, give us a date and we'll get you on the show. And then we're talking to Chad at Food Fight. Chad wants to make some funny jokes that, well, anyway, we'll let him make his jokes.
Yes.
I won't ruin them for him. And so we're going to have some people on the show coming up in a little bit, because you probably don't hear us talk for an hour every week.
No, that's boring.
Yeah. One other thing, we have to apologize because we're coming at you kind of late. It's 8:37 on Monday night and we're doing this podcast. Dude, that's like totally 24 hours like behind.
Yeah, but we're busy vegans, so.
Yeah, we are. School, work, man, work just sucks.
Yeah.
Work is beating me down. It's a man. They're trying to keep the vegan down. They are.
It's eating my soul. No, just the particular place we work at, perhaps.
When I first started my job, one of my senior colleagues in the department gave me this little button that said, "My job ate my life." And it's so true.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, we like our jobs, but they're crazy. So let's get into the shout-outs. We have a couple shout-outs this week. There are to people who were kind enough to get on PayPal and donate us some money, and we deeply, deeply, completely, totally, and utterly appreciate it.
We do. We had to thank you so much.
If we live near you, we'd come bake you vegan cakes. Oh, wait a minute. People do listen to this podcast who live near us, so we aren't going to do that.
Right, it gets us in trouble.
It could get us into a lot of trouble. But we want to say first, thanks to Emma Kidd, who is on our forums, and she has an awesome website at benconservato.com, benconservato.com. And she's an artist, and she sells some of her work through that site. And the stuff she sells is amazingly cool.
Yeah, I want to order some.
Yeah, it's very cool. And we also want to thank the Vegan Ninja. And Vegan Ninja runs a blog. And Vegan Ninja's, he's cool, man. He's one of these, mildly angry vegans on occasion. And I have a lot of sympathy for that. And you can find his blog at veganninja.blogspot.com. Thanks, Vegan Ninja. We really appreciate the cash. And our last person to thank is a guy named Mark Patrick, who has no blog, has no website, and just wanted to kind of give us some cash to help support the cause. So we really appreciate this. All this goes into the bandwidth fund, because last month we've downloaded, I don't know. I stopped checking around the middle of the month, and we had about 6,000 podcast downloads.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that kills us, man, and it's going up every show. So it's great. I mean, come on, it's completely awesome. We're glad you're downloading the podcast. We're happy for it, but someone's got to pay for that bandwidth. So
right.
But we're not in really bad shape yet. But I see it coming. If we keep growing at this rate, we'll be in bed. We could be in a... Oh, I'm going to stop whining now.
Right. Let's do our cool announcement is that we're going to be at the Boston Vegetarian Food Festival. I forget exactly what it's called. It's not the food fair. It's Boston Vegetarian Festival vegetarian thingy.
Yeah, and we'll put a link to the website
Yeah.
in the show notes. And we're going to give a talk there on the 22nd. And our talk is from 1 to 2, is it not?
I believe so.
Oh, we're also going to be on a radio show.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We're going to be on a real radio show. Speaking of radio shows, we're on Animal Voices. You can find us there. But we're going to be on this show called Virato out of Indiana. It's this guy... Huh?
Indiana? I thought it was North Carolina.
Oh, fuck. Who the hell knows? Indiana, North Carolina. It's not here. Yeah, so Virato is having us on his show. We'll leave a link to his show in the show notes. He may not have us on because we kind of bust on like New Agers in our book a little bit.
Yeah, so he may or may not have us on after he reads our book.
He may change his mind.
We'll see.
That's all right.
But we will be in Boston on October 22nd, and we need to thank one of our listeners for pimping us.
Absolutely, because it was because of you that we got invited to the Boston Food Fair, or whatever it's called.
We have the totally just kick-ass listeners.
Yeah, you all rock. You should just pat yourself on the back, clap for yourself right now, because you rock.
Yes.
Yeah, so our listeners are cool, and we really appreciate the comments and the feedback and everything that we're getting from you. Also, if you send us an email and we don't write back to you right away, we're trying, man. We just get... It could take us a couple days, so if you don't hear from us right away, be patient, relax.
Yeah, we get swamped.
We do get swamped, and we do have real jobs, too. Which
Yeah, that's what I meant.
yeah. So we try to get back to your emails quickly, but sometimes we get a little overwhelmed. So to everyone who donated, thank you, and to the person who recommended us for Boston, thank you very much. I'd mentioned your name, but I can't. You wrote to me earlier, and I can't find your email. So if you have a website that you want us to link to or mention, let us know. But we really appreciate it. We hope you'll be there in Boston to meet us. And if any of you are in Boston, you want to hang out, go have a beer or something, a vegan beer, drop us a line. We would be happy to meet any of you.
Yeah, and restaurant recommendations are always welcome.
Absolutely. So, okay, moving on. We got a couple reviews. We get reviews all over the place, right?
Yeah, and most of them up until now have been really, really positive, and I can't believe some of the great things that people have written about us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And one of the positive reviews we got is from Vance, and he talked about his review on Vegcast, which is another vegan podcast, and he gave a review of the book, and he also talks about it on his website at soyjoy.blogspot.com. And we just want to talk about these reviews very quickly. I mean, his review is really positive of our book. We were really happy with it, but he had a couple little things in there that we would just like to talk about very quickly.
Yeah, he basically had two criticisms, that the book was too short and that parts of it were not thoroughly researched enough.
So there you go. I guess in response to that, I mean, I think it's kind of, in a sense, almost bad form to respond to reviews, but what the hell? Who cares? It's our podcast. No, I mean, in one way, right, the book does have... It is written in a very snappy, kind of fast way, but the idea is that people, it's going to be something that's enjoyable to read and very quick and easy to read for the average person. So that was kind of why I wrote the book that way. In terms of research, man, I just don't get that one.
I don't either, because we have, at the end of each chapter, we have a huge list of resources, and that we point people to, further reading. In fact, that's one of the reasons why the book's so short. It's a primer. It's not meant to be the be-all, end-all of veganism. And we point you to, if you want to read further about any topic, because there are a lot of books that go into these topics in much more depth, and they can do it a lot better than we could in this book. We can't cover it all. So we point you to a lot of, things are cited. We have citations.
I think you're right to point out that it's a primer, though. I mean, yeah. To get people into, kind of digging into more thorough reading on veganism.
Yeah.
So.
And we teach students about about doing research, so we know how to do research.
Partially, yeah. Another review we got that was kind of fun, actually. This review made Jenna really kind of grumpy.
Really fucking pissed me off.
Damn! I kind of laughed when I read it. This is on Amazon.
Well, it really fucking pissed me off because the author apparently didn't read very carefully, because apparently only thought that one person wrote the book.
Yeah, so the person who wrote this review, she said, if you're already vegan, you'll probably like this book. If you're thinking about becoming a vegan, don't base your opinions of all vegans on this author. There are two of us. From the first page, he says that we can't be judgmental towards those who are merely vegetarians or, God forbid, meat eaters. Yet he is continually judgmental throughout the entire book, making himself look like a pompous jackass. I love that, because I am a pompous jackass. And I'm so proud of it.
Well, that's good.
And so there is a fact or two thrown in amid the opinions, but I would look elsewhere for real information. Becoming Vegan by Brenda Davis is a great source and a much gentler place to start.
Well, I agree. Becoming Vegan is a good book if you're looking for information on nutrition.
Absolutely. Our book is not really about nutrition, and we make that clear.
Yeah, I don't think this person read past the first chapter, honestly.
I don't think. Maybe they got to the part where we start talking about animal rights and they got turned off because we said you don't really need to eat meat to live.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting, though. I mean, a review is in itself a judgment, yet we're being critiqued for being judgmental.
Right, I know. Isn't that
by
funny?
a judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just contradicted yourself.
But here's the thing, man. If you like our book, cool. Go to Amazon and leave a review because those reviews really help us. So if you really liked our book, go tell the world that you liked it. And if you didn't like it, come to our forums and tell us why you didn't like it. And, the next time around, we might actually change it.
Right, tell us rather than the whole world.
Well, it's good to tell the whole world. I mean, people need to know.
If she thinks that wear pompous jackets is fine.
Well, I would also say the book probably isn't written for her,
No, the book, our target audience in this book is not meat eaters.
Absolutely.
We would have written it differently.
Completely Yeah, or, vegetarians who are just kind of, who are vegetarians for animal rights reasons mostly.
Yeah, or curious,
Yeah, or curious. So, I don't know. Enough about this. This is so heavy and serious, and this is so not what we're about.
No, it's not.
So that's why
So let's go to a silly song.
Yeah. All right, this song. This is an idea that on our forums, we put up this thing where we said, look, if you've got some idea that you want to have on the podcast, let us know what you want, and we'll try to do it. So one of our forum dwellers, Veghead, he had this idea of starting a serial novel that every week someone could voicemail in or write in a particular section, and we would have this like evolving kind of serial novel of some little vegan character making his way or her way in the world. So I said to him, fine, that's a brilliant idea. Write the first installment. Because, I write nonfiction. I ain't that smart. I've been in school forever, but I can't do fiction. It's just not my thing. So he said, cool, I'll do it. And lo and behold, one day we get this email, and enclosed in the email is this MP3 of this song that is meant to kind of start everything off. And a snippet of this will become the theme song. If we can get somebody to call in next week with a segment that will continue this, we'll read that segment and it hopefully can continue the story on. And we need your input on this. Like, we can't do this. This is something you got to do. It's got to come from the listeners. And listen, I know every week there are almost 2,000 of you. So come on, 2,000 of you. All we need is like 1% writing in with something every week, and that would really help. And voicemails. What are you, all grumpy and greedy with the voicemails? Come on. Okay, so anyway, enough ranting and raving. What I'm trying to say is that this theme song rocks my world. I heard it and I died laughing. It's so funny. It's so cool. And this is the unclean version. But it's not all that dirty. So here, we're going to let that roll. You have anything you want to say about it?
It's kick-ass.
It really is kick-ass. Thanks, man. Thanks, Marty. We really appreciate it. And, here's the song.
Come listen to a story, it's a brand new week. Gonna tell you the story of a vegan freak. He's not like your average Joe, Tom, Dick, or Harry, 'cause he won't consume any kind of meat, eggs, or dairy. Would he eat a cow?
No.
Would he eat a pig?
No.
Would he eat asparagus and dance a little jig?
Yes.
He buys a lot of broccoli on his vegan spending sprees. Though he might cut a lot of it, he don't eat any cheese. He loves his soy delicious and his girlfriend is a cutie. On Fridays they get out their spoons and nosh on some tofuti. Would he eat a chicken?
No.
Would he eat a lamb?
No.
Would he enjoy a roasted portobello sandwich?
Damn right.
So whether Democrat, Republican, liberal, or Tory, we can all agree this song's a kick-ass intro to our story. So pull up a chair, remove your pleather shoes, take off a load, and listen to this brand new Vegan Freak episode.
Oh, that is so classic.
It is. I love it.
And you got to come over to our forums and tell Veged how much that song rocks.
Yeah.
Because
I can't believe we have listeners writing songs for us.
I know,
It's so
it's
cool.
It's great. So that's meant to kind of be the opening theme each week for the for the serial novel. But the guy who wrote the song wanted to know how our dog liked it, and he was sleeping on the couch, and all of a sudden when it went no, the dog went started barking, ran all over the place. So Jenna is soothing him very gently now.
I'm scratching his butt.
And who doesn't like to have their butt scratched? Everybody likes to have their butt scratched. Yeah, especially dogs and cats. Mm-hmm. If you can, I mean, cats are a little pickier about that.
You got to scratch it in just the right way.
Absolutely, or you lose your hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so what we need from you, our loyal and faithful, lovely listeners out there, we need you to call our voicemail line and start the story up, or send us a segment, or get up off your butt and participate, man. This is a participatory podcast. You can't just sit there wherever you're listening. Are you at the gym? Are you in your car? Are you making dinner? What are you doing? Go sit down somewhere and write us something good and bring it.
Right, there's a participation grade involved here in class.
I lectured for like 2.5 hours today. I'm beat. But anyway, I'm beat. I'm tired of talking, actually. So I'm going to shut up. And what we're going to do is roll some of this Erik Marcus stuff. And the Erik Marcus stuff comes from, like I said earlier, his talk from the Popular Animal Sanctuary Open House. And we really owe VegBlog a big shout out and thanks for this. And Erik as well, a big shout out and thanks, because he wrote to us and said, man, this stuff is pretty solid. You need to pick it up. And it is pretty solid. So we're going to roll a couple segments of that. And
now our dog wants to play.
You hear this? The dog really wants to play. So we're going to play some of these segments and play with the dog.
I think the most important thing about the farmed animal sanctuary movement is that it is showing people that farmed animals aren't any different in worth, in sentience, in ability to show caring for people and for other animals. These animals are no different than the dogs and cats that we call part of our families. And that's something that people really seem to forget. They think that there's this dividing line between the animals in our homes and the animals on our dinner plates, and that's really not the case. When Terry was telling me the stories of how she sourced these various animals, one thing really comes to mind to me that really shows what Poplar Spring is all about and why it is so important. And that is, every last animal you see here, no matter how friendly, no matter what this animal has been through, no matter the degree of sparkle in that animal's eyes and how they react towards other animals and with you, no matter any of these factors, these animals all have something in common. And that is, from a certain perspective, from the industry perspective, these animals were garbage. These animals were absolutely garbage. They were waste that, in most cases, was just being abandoned and left to die. Now, there's and that's why a sanctuary like this really is so vitally important, because you meet these animals that if they weren't rescued, they would have just been another unknown number making up the 10 billion farmed animals a year that go to slaughter in the United States. We're killing 10 billion a year. And so every animal you see here today, it's very important that you understand that behind each one of these rescued animals, there are 1 million animals that get processed by the industry that we'll never meet, that we'll never know existed, that we'll never know their stories. And that's what makes an animal sanctuary like this such an important thing, because you can get a first-hand experience of just what is being lost day in and day out.
So yeah, he talks about the importance of sanctuaries.
Absolutely.
And I think really gets at this, just the sheer numbers out there of deaths that are caused by, the standard American diet and the numbers of animals that we'll never know. I think that's really poignant.
Yeah, he points out 10 billion in the U.S. alone, and then I think I've heard various numbers for worldwide, but it's something like 45 billion animals worldwide. Most of them chickens at that.
Yeah, it's really sad.
So, I think what Eric's talking about is really important here because it talks about why sanctuaries matter because they help to expose people to the fact that all these animals kind of have personalities. They all have. When you get to meet animals, it's an amazing thing because they're more than just a thing. They have a presence that you can feel.
Yeah, they're a being.
Absolutely. And I think that the sanctuaries help to kind of bring that back to the table and remind people that.
Definitely.
Okay, so in the next clip, we have Erik talking about what?
He's going to talk about the egg and dairy industries, especially why, I guess that towards the end, why free range and organic are still cruel.
Absolutely, and some of the problems with them, because this is one of the things we always hear is like, well, I think animal cruelty is wrong, but I eat free range, so it's okay.
Right, and happier animals taste better.
I've heard that. That is when people tell me that, it makes me just want to cry inside. It's so horrible. Happy animals taste better.
Yeah, there's this whole article in the New Yorker that I'm going to have to rant on at some point. That there's this guy who, anyway, I won't go into it now. But anyway,
why not?
Well, he claims that he eats the entire animal, entrails and all, because it somehow has more respect for the animal. Or I don't know. If he had more respect for the animal, he wouldn't eat it.
Why eat the damn thing to begin with?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I hate that happy animals taste better. I always hear that kind of as a joke too, and that's just galling to somebody who if you know someone and you know they care about animals and you say, "And happy animals taste better," it's just like, oh, I'm not a violent guy, but there are times. Anyway, so the next clip we're going to roll out for you and hope you like it. Oh, and one other thing before we roll that, you'll notice that Poplar, yeah, Poplar Springs. Thank you. You see, this is why we're going to make a very good old age couple.
Yes.
What? You meddling kids! There's some kids building a fort in the woods behind our house. Every day I go out and shake my fist at them and say, "You meddling kids!"
Yeah.
But apparently Poplar Springs is apparently in the flight path of a very large airport. So.
Yeah. Well, it's strange to us to hear airplanes going overhead because there are no airplanes that go overhead. Only military, and that's about once a day. So.
Yeah, there's very few airplanes here. There's basically nothing here where we live. But anyway, here's Erik Marcus.
But it turns out that they are, because you got to think about, well, what do eggs and dairy products have in common? Well, obviously they are both produced by females. And they're both, when you think about it, sort of reproductive foods. And that takes you to an interesting place once you realize that these are the reproductive foods of female farmed animals. Because just as with humans, just as with any other animal, the production of eggs, the production of milk, is at its peak when these animals are young adults. And by the time these dairy cows, by the time these chickens reach the animal equivalent of middle age, they can still produce some milk, they can still produce some eggs, but the yields are way, way off. And if you are raising animals for profit, which all of the producers who supply our supermarkets and farmers markets are, there's only one thing you can do. You got to send these animals to the slaughterhouse and bring in new, young female animals to take their place, to lay these eggs, to produce this milk. And the fact is, you have never seen an egg at a farmer's market, at a supermarket, that did not come from a chicken that's destined for the slaughterhouse. You have never seen a drop of milk that comes from a cow that is not going to the slaughterhouse. It's just guaranteed. And in fact, even free-range eggs, even organic dairy products, these are all the products of animals going to the slaughterhouse. Even though an animal may be treated slightly better in a free-range environment or fed better in an organic dairy environment, it doesn't change the essential fact that dairy and eggs are the reproductive foods of young female farmed animals. And by the time they reach a certain age, you have to send them to slaughter, even if you're the friendly-looking organic producer at your local farmer's market. So the thing is, if you are opposed to killing the animals that are just like the animals you see here, the counterparts of the animals you see here, the unrescued animals, just like the ones you see here. If you're opposed to those animals ending up in slaughterhouses, it turns out that a vegetarian diet is not going far enough. If you want to divorce yourself and your food dollar from paying for what goes on in slaughterhouses, really, you got to go vegan.
So what Eric Marcus raised there in that particular segment, I mean, it's really good because it's something you can remind people of when they come at you with the free range excuse, you know. And I agree on the whole, free range is better, but you know, come on. At the end of the day, it's still cruelty, and it's still animals that are dying young and being forced to do this. It's like a form of slavery, if you ask me.
Yeah, and it's still, I mean, like you said, he focuses on the reproductive aspects on it. You're still killing the males.
Yep.
Because they have no use. Absolutely.
And that's why, I mean, it's important to think that there's a little bit of veal in every glass of milk, you know. I said this today to somebody, and they were like, really? I meant it figuratively. Yeah. So there's not literally veal in every glass of milk, but there is, in fact, figuratively veal in every glass of milk, because what do you do with all those extra males that are born for dairy cows? You either sell them into veal production for human consumption, or they're killed within something like 48 hours and sold as veal for kind of pet food. So it's really sad. And I think this talk by Eric Marcus is really solid. What you should do, we can't play the whole thing. You should go over to vegblog.org. You should download the talk, and you should listen to it on your iPod or wherever you feel like it, because it's a good talk and it's really solid, and I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, and if you're also so inclined, get Eric Marcus's book Meat Market, where he talks in length about the dairy and egg industries and why they're very bad. Absolutely.
Meat Market has some really solid research in it, and it turns out also that Eric Marcus and I didn't know this, but we were both doing research in the same library at the same time. At Cornell. We were both doing research in the same library at the same time. I'm sure I ran into him.
Probably.
I'm sure, because I knew most of the people in that library, because I lived there for a very long time during graduate school. Okay, so moving on. This is all like getting kind of heavy, and we talked about the book reviews. We'll be more lighthearted next week when we've had a couple days to rest. But right now we're going to move into some music. Flame Still Burns from our forums was nice enough to send us this great song that it completely rocks.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
we're gonna roll this for you. The band is Soulseek, and the song is called Name in Mind. So here it is.
Generate
Okay, so we made a mistake. That is not Soul Seek. That is Soul Side. And the song's called Name in Mind, and the album is Soon Come Happy. The lyric that Flame Still Burns wanted us to point out was, you see food and I see murder. I see blood on your plate. And that's there, man. That stuff, that's a solid song.
Definitely.
So thanks for that. And if you've got song suggestions, send them along.
Yeah, we're always welcoming new song suggestions.
Absolutely. We'll try to track them down and get them and play them. And yeah, whatever. So thanks, man. We really appreciate it. And again, another plug for the forums. Come over to the forums, man. All kinds of good stuff happen on the forums. We got a good group with the forums.
Yeah, good vibe.
Good vibe with the forums, even though I'm not on them as much as I'd like to be because I'm too damn busy with work. Next up, we have a new feature we're trying on Vegan Freak Radio here. We thought we'd get out there and interview, first off, some people from our forums so you could talk to an average vegan. We also thought we would talk to some people who are like, running vegan businesses, doing vegan things out in the world. So this is our first installment, and if it worked out okay, if you like it, we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool vegans out there, and we just want you to get to know them a little bit.
Absolutely. So for this first one, we talked to Lee and Ken Saluzzi of Cosmo's Vegan Shop. And, I went back and listened to it, and we sound like complete idiots. And Lee and Ken sound like the most articulate, forthright, kick-ass, smart vegans anywhere. And we're like, we were just completely idiotic.
Yeah, I have no idea why. I mean, we do this podcast every week, and both you and I get up in front of students every day and have to talk. And you think you would be used to formulating complete sentences, but no, I can't do it without stuttering.
I can't either. I was completely screwed in this thing. I don't know. I mean, I was just, the dog was being bad. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think we were distracted because the dog was licking himself, and then he was trying to get up, and which makes all kinds of noise.
I'm sure you can probably hear the dog licking himself in that.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to it with headphones, but so anyway, yeah, Lee and Ken just kicked ass in this interview. And what did we do? We were just like, we were like the stupid cousins or something. We were just idiotic. But anyway, we'll quit. See, here I go again. Okay.
Okay.
Calm.
Deep breath.
I'm gonna align I'm gonna like center myself, man.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay. I'm centered now.
Good.
I'm at one with the universe.
Well, that's good to know.
Okay. So, Vegan Freak listeners, this is the New Age Bob coming at you, letting you know this is Lee and Ken Saluzzi of Cosmo's Vegan Shop, and here's our interview with them. Peace. All right, so we're fortunate enough to have Lee and Ken Saluzzi on the line. Lee and Ken are the owners of Cosmo's Vegan Shop, and we're here just to ask them a couple questions. This is part of one of the things that we're thinking about doing, is just trying to get some cool vegan people on the line, get them on the podcast, and see what they have to say. And so we're just going to begin by kind of asking some basic questions, and hopefully we'll have some good times here.
Yep, sounds good. So let us start off by just asking you in general about how you became vegan. Maybe Lee, would you like to start?
Yes, I have been vegan for only about 4.5 years now. I was a vegetarian since I was 17, so I'm going on 14 years of vegetarian. And honestly, I just didn't know anybody who was vegetarian. I was the only one out of any of my friends, any of my family, anybody I met. I was the only vegetarian, and I went vegetarian originally for ethical reasons. And I eliminated all the leather right away, and started learning how to cook and all that good stuff. But the cheese and the milk just stayed there, and even though I knew it was bad, and I knew the suffering that went behind it, I still continued to do it because I felt like, I'm doing something. I just can't cross that line. And when I met Ken, he was vegan already, and he had been vegan for years. And he even said to me, most of my friends are vegan. I hardly know anybody that isn't vegan. And I was just so, amazed. And when we got together, it was so much easier because when you have somebody there who's already doing it, you can see how easy it is. And he really made the transition easy for me, and it's been smooth sailing ever since.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, it sounds like you actually had the roots of veganism when you first went vegetarian because you got rid of the leather and everything else, and that's something.
I did. I really did. It was more of an emotional food response, that I love cheese kind of thing that people always talk about, and I just really needed somebody to help me, kind of give me that push in the right direction. It was cool.
Cool. And Ken, how long have you been a vegan for?
Oh, I've been a vegan since 1997, I think. Yeah, it was summer of 1997.
Wow.
I guess you can call it an overload of cheese at one point. For me. I was on tour with a band I was in at the time. We were in New York City, and we only actually played one show that tour because our van broke down, so we had to come back. But we had an awful lot of New York pizza that time, and it was just, I got back and I said, it's time I cut this out. And that was it.
Because you were a vegetarian first.
Yeah, I went vegetarian 1994. I was like I was in college. I was doing a research paper on the ivory trade in Africa. And when I went over my paper with my professor, she asked me if I was a vegetarian, and I said no, and she kind of gave me that look like, you're doing this research, you've got some information here, you may want to, pursue that. So that coupled with, I got a couple family members that are already vegetarian. My older sister had been a vegetarian for about 10 years, and my aunt in New York has been vegan for like 30 years almost.
Wow, for 30 years.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. My Aunt Linda in New York City, she's awesome.
That's cool. Is your Aunt Linda a prude like mine?
I'm sorry?
My Aunt Linda's kind of a prude about cursing.
Oh really?
Yeah. Is your Aunt Linda kind of prudish about that?
Cursing? Didn't she get mad at you guys for cursing on the podcast?
That's right, she did. Wow, that's an amazing story. I mean, so it seems like you both just kind of came to this realization at a certain point.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
And for me, it was really being involved with the hardcore scene in the 90s, because anybody who's been around since then knows that like actually the late 80s, throughout the mid 90s, it was a big surge of veganism. You had a lot of bands that were pushing it. You had a lot of record labels that were pushing it, and people in general, like a lot of the local guys around here started becoming really active in the animal rights scene. We had literally, I would say, I could name 100 people that I knew that were vegan at one time within the Atlanta scene, if not more.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, do you think that's still you think that's still the case today, or do you think it's declined a bit within the hardcore scene in terms of?
It's declined a lot.
Always strong survived, right?
It's really sad. I just heard about a certain person that used to be really active. I mean, he used to promote animal rights demos all the time, and he, I don't want to name names, but he supposedly he went in and tried to buy some kind of rabbit fur jacket or something.
Oh.
But he was a solid guy, and you hear about this. From time to time. It's sad, but I guess people, their mind, they change, and interests change, and that's what happens. They should have read your book. That's the bottom line.
They would have seen how easy it was.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh, well, since we're on the subject of music, do you have any good songs that you could recommend for our podcast other than the Minor Threat that we've already played?
Oh, that was great. I love the Minor Threat song. Boy, there's a funny one. There was a compilation put out a long time ago called The Voice of the Voiceless. And like a bunch of hardcore bands at the time, like East of Today, and there was a guy from North Carolina called Rob R. Rock, and he has a song on there that I'm going to send you the MP3 as soon as I can get it on MP3, and it's pretty funny. It was like the first vegan rap song. It came out in like the early 90s, I think that compilation came out. There's I guess
Into Another, right?
Yeah, Into Another's song Herbivore is great.
Cool.
They were around mid to late 90s in New York. They were really good too.
Excellent.
Vanilla Biscuits, right?
Oh yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm sorry?
I was saying I can't wait to check some of this stuff out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to mention the Gorilla Biscuits Cats and Dog song is pretty interesting because the main theme is you would never eat your cat or dog, and people always say, well, you got to eat meat. What are you going to eat? What am I going to eat? And you present the fact that, oh, you're going to eat your cat? No. usually the answer.
And it's funny that people think that that's a stupid question, but yet these are the same people that ask us how do we feel about plants that have feelings.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We do get some awfully stupid questions as vegans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man. So kind of moving on a little bit, we were really curious about when you guys started Cosmos and what got you into starting Cosmos, and we saw the cute little picture on the website of your kitty. But maybe you could tell us a little bit about Cosmos. I mean, because we think it's actually a great shop, and you guys have a lot of cool stuff.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Yeah. We've been planning Cosmos for years. I mean, it was something for the past couple of years we've really been wanting to do, and we finally, took a chance and started on March 1st this year. So we've been open 7 months now, and we're very small. We're smaller than the other guys, but we're growing, and we have a great customer base, and it's so much fun. It's just really cool to wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, I'm running my vegan store, It's really fun, and we're just thrilled to death to be doing it.
That's cool, because I think there's really a need out there for all kinds of different vegan shops and all kinds of. I mean, vegans need stuff, especially if you live like where we live. We live in the middle of nowhere.
Right, and and we love all the other stores, because even though we're in Atlanta and we do have a lot of good places to get food and things out here, we still liked supporting as vegans. We still ordered from Pangea. We still ordered from Vegan Essentials and Food Fight and the other guys because we loved them. We just thought it was awesome that there were people out there that we didn't have to bother reading labels.
Absolutely, and you guys have. Oh, I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
Oh, that's okay. No, we just knew that when we ordered something from them that it was going to be good, and we didn't have to worry about going this has whatever in it, and we're happy to be offering that as a service to people now.
Excellent. Yeah, we love not having to read labels. That's one of the things that I absolutely love not shopping, doing for shopping online.
I also like the idea of giving money to people who, I know aren't supporting like the meat industry and stuff, because and this is a critique of Whole Foods or something. You look at Whole Foods and they're selling all this free-range eggs, this free-range meat, and all that other crap. And, I don't mind buying there, but I always feel like, I'm putting money into the pockets of people that are supporting the meat industry, and that freaks me out.
Right. I mean, I like Whole Foods because that, it offers us an alternative as far as getting organic produce and things. But you're right. I mean, it is hard to go into a store with a meat counter and have to walk. Like, for example, the stores here, there are, 7 Whole Foods in the metro Atlanta area. And 3 of them are called Harry's Farmers Markets that were recently bought out by Whole Foods. They were basically these really big farmers markets that still kept the kind of Harry's name, but they now have all the regular Whole Foods, stuff. And they have the most enormous seafood, disgusting counter that we have to walk through. It's like this just nasty, foul-smelling, shit-filled counter, And it's so awful to be like, oh, we're going to go get our, our collards and our kale, and we're going to go get our vegan cookies or whatever, and then there's this, lobster tank.
Oh.
It's hard,
Yeah, that really.
We're excited too because we want to open up Cosmos as a walk-in store here in Atlanta.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah, and people ask us, are you going to get any business? And I'm sure there's other people out there that don't want to smell the meat counter at Whole Foods.
Absolutely.
That's hard.
So, what is it like to be vegan in Atlanta? Is it a cool city to be vegan in?
Oh, it's very, very cool. There's all kinds of places to eat. Some of our favorite places, you have Harmony Vegetarian.
Oh, yeah. You guys would love it. You love Chinese food. You guys have to come down and go to Harmony.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Harmony is awesome. Harmony, there's Cafe Sunflower, which has it's vegan and vegetarian. There's actually a place close by to us over here that has a separate vegetarian menu. They're called New York Chinatown, and they have a really good selection there of vegetarian, vegan items.
They cook all that on a separate grill. They've told us. They offered us the information, and we have a lot of good vegetarian restaurants out here. There's even a really upscale restaurant. I don't know if you guys have been to Millennium out in San Francisco before, but there's a place here called Lush that is more upscale. In other words, like pricey, but
Yeah, like
you're going to drop a good amount of money there. So we only go there on very, very special occasions. But it's really good, and it's really nice to have a restaurant that they don't even like have big signs up saying we're vegan, we're vegan. It's just like we're a fancy restaurant, come in and eat. And when you sit down, the waiter says, "Oh, by the way, everything here is vegan," and that means no animal products. And then they bring out these fantastic spreads.
And it's pretty funny because you'll hear people that just wandered in and they get told, they get the drill, and then all of a sudden it's like, what? There's no animal product?
What are we going to eat?
What are we going to eat? Oh, no.
We saw people almost leave one time for that reason. This one guy was like, "Oh, should we stay?" You're already here. Stay.
Just give it a try, for Christ's sake.
Right.
That sounds completely kick-ass, though, because we can't even, where we live, there's like nowhere to go out to eat. It's really sad. If we want to go out and celebrate, we have to drive to Ottawa, which is like hour and a half away, or so
Wow.
it sucks.
People are surprised when they hear that because they think, "Oh, Georgia, you're the deep south," and everything. But honestly, we're really lucky here. We even have a vegetarian supermarket in town. We have a lot of good restaurants, a lot of good places to buy stuff. It's pretty sweet.
Man, we need to move there.
Do we need more friends.
I move down here or visit, and we'll be more than happy to take you out.
You'll leave 5 pounds fatter. Trust me.
Oh, I'm
It's all
sure.
good, though.
Excellent. Yeah, I've heard that. I mean, I've actually never been to Atlanta, but I've heard in general it's a pretty good city.
Yeah, it's fun. We do enjoy it.
Nice.
Always
So,
got to mention all vegetarian,
Oh yeah, there's a Solvi here.
which is really good.
Yeah.
That all sounds so good.
Yeah.
So in general, there's something that you absolutely love about being vegan that you can tell all our listeners?
Well, as far as what I love being vegan, honestly, I think before I was vegan, or even when I was still vegetarian, I was not that creative with food. But once I became vegan, it's almost like I enjoy my food more. I'm more creative with things I make and things I choose to try, and I don't think that I don't consider it limiting at all. Like some people are like, what, the big question we all get, what do you eat? So it's like, well, I eat about, 50 vegetables and, all these fruits and grains, and it's fun. And yeah, I can have pizza and I can have ice cream and I can have all that good stuff too. I just love food. It's awesome.
that's great, because I think you're right. So many people always say, "Oh, well, what do you eat?" Because they imagine that it's just like, all we eat is broccoli and tofu. And you always hear people say, "I could never be vegan. I hate
Right.
tofu."
We don't eat tofu. Don't get us wrong. We love tofu, but we don't eat it every day,
Yeah. I guess I could expand on that because it did open me up to other foods as well. Because before I went vegetarian, it was just 1 or 2 or 3 items I would eat all the time. And then when you go vegetarian and even vegan, you try other vegetables, and like I'm a big kale fan. I can eat kale every day.
Mm-hmm.
Love kale. And Lee and I, we both love to try different things and different recipes, and it's fun. It really is a lot of fun.
It is.
We
Yeah.
never get bored.
Cool, that's good. Hopefully that'll convince some of our on-the-fence vegan folks, because we got a couple listeners who write to us and tell us, we're on the fence, we're not quite sure. Hopefully that'll kind of push them over the edge.
Yeah.
Food is just fun now. I never even thought about food that much, and now it's just like, yeah, food's awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, kind of to flip it a little bit, though, what are maybe some of your frustrations about being vegan? Because we all have a couple little things that frustrate us, but maybe you could share with us some of those things.
Well, the social aspect of it can get annoying. We all have the little things, the questions we hear all the time, and I'm usually pretty easygoing about that kind of stuff. But sometimes there's these more uncomfortable situations where, like, for example, when Ken and I had our wedding shower, for example, and people were giving us gifts and we're opening up our gifts, and I have an aunt that I don't see very often, but she's a wonderful lady, but she doesn't understand the vegetarian thing at all, and she always says, well, what do you eat? And she asked me, where do I get my protein? And I told her, well, we eat beans, we eat grains, we eat tofu, legumes, whatever, And so she bought us a little, like, a chopper, a kitchen utensil, and whenever we opened it in front of everybody, she goes, "I guess you could put your beans in there." And it's just kind of like, yeah, because that's all we eat is like beans. It's just little stuff like that. It was, she meant it well. I don't mean to, rag on my Aunt Billy, but things like that happen, and just hearing stuff like that. And then, of course, the fish being a vegetable thing comes up. I hate being somewhere and being served fish because you say you're a vegetarian. That's the ultimate of annoying.
Yeah, it is.
We all feel that.
How about for you, Ken?
Oh boy. Well, it has to be work-related experiences. It's frustrating because, being at work, anytime there's any kind of food item that's presented for free, like somebody will say, "Hey, there's donuts available," or so-and-so brought in some chicken casserole or whatever, and if you don't get up and eat it, people look at you like, "Why aren't you eating?"
Yeah, like, aren't you going to go get some?
Go get it. There's ice cream down there. No, that's okay. I'm fine. You sure? Positive. Well, what? Well, how about chicken casserole? It sure is good. No, that's all right. Thanks.
So do you tell the people you work with that you're a vegan?
I do, but I try not to make a big deal about it because I don't want people to, I don't think it should be a big deal,
Yeah.
To me, it's just like, I'm vegan, that's what I am, and I don't persecute other people for eating meat, although, if they ever wanted to discuss it, I'd be more than happy to off the floor at work, but not, because that goes hand in hand with, like, religion at work. People get real heated over subjects like that.
Well, yeah, if you offend, if you're attacking, not attacking, but some people, if you don't do what they do, they think that you're assuming that what they do is wrong, and then they get all defensive. And
yeah, it's really like a weird psychological thing. It's like, because eating is release, and it's like if you go against what they're doing, then they think they're wrong, and then they feel weird, and then they have to comment on it, and it's just one big mess.
Yeah, it truly is. I mean, that's the thing, is it's so often people, when they find out we're vegan, they always just feel like, I don't know, they feel like we're critiquing them. We aren't even saying anything about what they're doing necessarily, but they always feel, I think, put upon. So I think it's always good to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It is. I mean, I get that. I'm sure every vegan gets, well, I don't eat very much red meat. Whenever it comes up that you're a vegetarian or a vegan, oh, well, great, good for you. Yeah.
I think I told you this, Bob, but I had somebody at work ask me if I ate air for lunch. Yeah, air was great. I had some air.
He's a breatharian.
Breatharian, that's right.
A breatharian. Yeah, you should have told him, dude, it totally rocked. So I guess that kind of it is a funny story. I was going to ask you guys if you had any good funny stories or funny experiences about being vegan, or anything you want to share out there, because we all have something that's kind of hilarious or just really absurd.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, there's so many over the years. I'm trying to think of one that would be... Oh, God, I don't even know. Oh, well, I don't know. I get scanned. I've worked in health food stores, customer service and buyers and things. And so I do get scanned a lot for my shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You get oh, you're vegan, and then they look straight at your shoes. It's so fascinating. You know what they're looking for, even if they don't say anything. And one time I got scanned by a customer, and she said, "Oh, those are nice shoes, leather, huh?" And I said, "Nope, actually, I got these at Alternative Outfitters. They're a site, that sells leather-free shoes. They sure look like leather." Well, they're certainly not. You know what I mean? Since they're a customer, you can't be rude to them, but you want to be.
I had a similar experience. I have these huge boots. They have 14-hole lace-up steel toe. And they look like leather, but they're pleather. And, I was getting all kinds of shit from my students one day, and they're like, "Look, your boots are leather." And I held up the sole, and I put it in their face, and it says vegetarian shoes on it. And they said, "That doesn't mean it's not leather."
It's so funny. People are always trying to find your loophole,
I know
What's
it.
your loophole? What about you, Ken? Do you have a funny story?
Oh, yeah, usually they're work-related. Do you have air for lunch? Eat carrots. Yeah, I eat carrots. Eat air. Stuff like that. I guess my family's always been really good, though. I don't really have any funny family stories. My mom has been incredible with providing vegan food for us during holidays and birthdays and stuff like that.
Oh, she's so awesome. Big Italian family, Ken's family, and his mom will make separate vegan ravioli, and then she'll make vegetarian cheese ravioli for the vegetarians, and then she'll make meat ravioli for the meat people. And she'll make a ton of dishes. She makes tofurkeys at Thanksgiving. It's fantastic. She makes desserts.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
So
she's incredible.
Yeah, really thoughtful.
Damn, that's great.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, most of my stories are your typical questions people ask you, what do you eat? Where do you get your protein?
Stuff all vegans
You know,
do, right?
Surely you don't drink milk, your bones are going to break, stuff like that.
I was actually doing a training call the other day. I also do some work for some supplement companies, vitamin supplement companies, and I was on a training conference call the other day with a doctor doing a training on a line of vitamins, and he was answering a question that someone else asked him about a product that was not vegetarian. It had some animal-sourced hydrochloric acid in it or something, and the lady said, "Oh, well, can vegetarians take this?" And the doctor said, "Well, it's not a vegetarian product, but vegetarians should take it because they don't eat enough protein. And since they don't eat enough protein, they're going to have this to digest their food correctly." And I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is a doctor. And I'm biting my lip really hard, oh, don't say anything.
Wow,
It's really sad.
It must have been really tough not to say something.
Yeah, I actually didn't in this case because I was just on the call. It wasn't something I was directly, needing to be involved in. But
Sure.
yeah, it was ridiculous. Stuff like that comes up all the time with nutritional supplements. That's another reason why I wanted to carry, vegan supplements more heavily than some of the other stores at Cosmos, because it's something that I like supplements, and I believe in what a lot of them do. But there's so many supplements out there. You'd be amazed at how much crap is in some supplements.
Mm-hmm. That's what I like about your shop, actually, is that it's a place we can go to and know for sure that we're getting vegan supplements, because sometimes it's just really hard to know.
It is. I mean, you'd be amazed at what the stuff they put. I mean, they put animal glands in things, and people think that it helps with their, like cow thyroid. Why would you want to take that internally? That's so repulsive.
That is completely repulsive. Oh. So, yeah, your supplement selection is amazing, and you got rubbers, too, so who can argue with that?
We do have rubbers. The rubbers are popular with the kids.
Cool. Well, we don't have a whole lot much more for you, so we really appreciate you guys talking to us. Can you tell everybody out there your store URL so everybody can go to Cosmos and buy tons and tons of stuff?
Yes, we are www.cosmos, CosmosVeganShoppe.com. CosmosVeganShop.com. Shop spelled the funny European way. And we're little, but we're chugging along, and we just thank everybody for their support who supported us, and come check us out.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for being on, guys. We really appreciate it. It was so nice to talk to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Bob. Thanks, Janet.
Guys. We're so happy to talk to you.
Yes, so it's very nice to talk to you in person.
Yes.
Well, we're not in person, though,
Well,
right?
I mean, voice to voice, rather than, I'm just so used to chatting with everyone. Every vegan I know practically I chat on with email and on the forums, and I rarely actually get to hear people's voices.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Jenna. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So that was our interview with Lee and Ken.
Yeah, and there's a link to their store on our site.
Absolutely. They've got a very good assortment of vitamins and stuff, man. There are, and supplements and other good things. There are so many cool vegan shops out there, and we think you should support them all.
Yeah, I rotate. I try to rotate my orders because I certainly can't buy stuff around here. So.
And the stickers at Food Fight, they rock.
Yeah.
The I Love Hunting Accident sticker, I would totally put that on my car, but we would get killed.
Oh, yeah. We would become hunting accidents.
Quote unquote.
Yeah.
There are so many hunters here. If we put that on our car, we would seriously get killed.
Yeah. As it is, we have one of those little oval stickers with the VGN on our car. So
that's covert enough.
Yeah.
That's like an in joke, man. Like we vegans, bonding together. So yeah, we're done the show this week. We are we're on the forums, man. We're podcasting at podcast.veganfreak.com. You can hook us up at the iTunes Music Store where you can subscribe. Also, we're going to we're going to be attention whores and beg that you vote for us over at Podcast Alley, because we finally got up on Podcast Alley. So if you vote for us, you help us move up in the links. You help people see that there are more vegan podcasts out there, and you get us moving up.
Cool shit.
Cool shit, because we're all, it'd be cool if we could move up the rankings. So I think we're like 4,000 or something now. So
it's not too bad, considering there are thousands and thousands and thousands of podcasts.
That's true. So 4,000. Well, whatever. Okay. Also, don't forget you can upload voicemail on our website at podcast.veganfreak.com, or you can call our voicemail number 267-295-1944. That's 267-295-1944. Call now. And remember, we still do the button thing.
Yeah, we're still sending out buttons, and I apologize if I missed anybody here.
Yeah, if we missed you, if we sent out most buttons, we sent them out a while ago, right?
I keep sending them out.
Okay, so if you don't have a button and you think you deserve one, you need to let us know.
Yeah.
But don't be conning us now.
Yeah. Send us an email.
Send us a nice little email and remind us. Also, send us comments on the show, things like that. We love to hear from you. Be in touch with us. Don't be a loser. Be in touch.
Yeah, we appreciate all the feedback and all the support from everyone, and there are links on the right side of our podcast.veganfreak.com if you want to support us and check it out.
All right. Well, we really appreciate your listening. We love you all out there, and we hope you're all doing well and being vegan or getting close to being vegan. And next week on the show, did we talk what we're going to do next week on the show?
No, we did not.
We forgot to do that. Mm-hmm. Next week on the show, we have Ethical Conundra. Is that the point of conundrum?
I believe so.
Ethical conundra for you.
Yes.
To contemplate around vivisection and stuff like that. And anyway, yeah, so call and leave us voicemail 267-295-9444. Bye.